Hello, welcome back to another episode of Wake Up and Live with Bob. Um, for countries to move forward, a lot of what needs to be done is that they shake off the old traditional conservative way of thinking and acquire new practices that are either what we refer to as progressive or liberal in order to allow the country to move forward. Jamaica is no different, and if you've ever thought of certain things that you would like to see Jamaica change, I have a list of 10 things that I would definitely like to see them change. And at the end of the video, you can leave your little pet peeve of things that you'd like to see us change. But for now, I want to go over my list, my 10 things I'd like to see us change. All right. So first, I'd like to see the idea. When I was younger, if there's a bunch, let's say there's a bunch of banana on the ground, and a woman stepped over that bunch of banana, there's some the average Jamaican would not eat that bunch of any banana from that bunch, simply because a woman stepped over it. I'd love to see that change. Armpit reaching over foods. Again, when I was younger, if a person reaches over someone's food, stretching their armpits over the food, the average person, again in Jamaica that I know, would just not eat that food. There's something to be said for poor manners reaching over someone's food, but to dump your food or argue or fight over the food, I don't think I would actually I'd actually go to that extent. Another thing is, for those of us, we all washed and spread our clothes on the line. It was like a taboo for any individual to walk underneath a woman's underwear hanging on the line. Huh? That was that had to be one of the dumbest thing, next to stepping over the food, that I've ever seen. But I'd love for that to change. That's uncivilized, and that's not something I think we should be. I don't think that's something that should be continue as a practice or any cultural norm. Another thing I'd like for us to see change is the idea that prejudice is something that is either white or foreign, and it doesn't exist in Jamaica, or Jamaicans don't do that. That is not true. Absolutely not true. If anyone is a member of our Indo-Jamaican community, meaning Jamaicans of Indian descent, you must have heard somewhere where they talk about you'd hear things commonly said when I was a little kid that coolie is light, they're not strong like black men, or the back of the neck is raw, or those little stupidness, or you'd have little jingles about coolie shit and callaloo and turn around and eat it, and all those different things. Those are very disparaging statements that were commonly used in Jamaica. So yes, we do have prejudice. We didn't have racism as institutional as in the United States, but yes, we do have our own little forms of prejudice. Another thing I'd like to see change is the idea that government is responsible for providing jobs for Jamaicans. Not true. That's not government's job. Government's job is to create economic conditions which allow for the best possible economic outcomes. Providing jobs is a duty we owe ourselves, right? Government is not our daddy. Government don't buy baby milk for people, or so forth. Yes, there's some assistance that that government has a responsibility to provide, but it's not government's job to find you work or provide jobs for you. All right, it's our job to do that. Our first obligation to ourselves is to provide work, employment for ourselves. If we cannot do that, or it's not feasible, then we can sell our labor to another a company that's willing to pay us to do a job. But no, it's not government's job at all. All right. The other thing is this idea that grown men don't go to school. There's this tendency to believe that grown men don't go to school in Jamaica. That's a pitney thing. That's a boy thing. That is one of the largest contributing factor to poverty. One of the largest contributing factor to poverty, the lack of skill and the refusal to go acquire new skills through education. We need to actually dump that. All right. Another thing I'd really like to see is men stop thinking that they own their wives. You're married to your wife, you share their lives. You don't own their lives. You don't own their parts. You don't own their sexuality. You don't own all. You don't. All right. You share their lives. You don't own their lives. Okay. And I'd love to see that tendency change in our society. Another thing I'd like to see is the idea of helping. Someone asks you, a relative asks you, can you help me pay little Johnny's school fee? I'd like for us to understand that help means assistance. Help does not mean do for. If someone asks you to help do something, you better make sure you are understanding clearly that they're asking for your assistance. They can provide much of it, and you are just assisting. Otherwise, there's a tendency to mean you do it for them. That's what it's been expected, and it's in our best interest to make sure that that is quite clear from the onset when offering help. All right. Another thing I'd like to see change is the idea that when you succeed in Jamaica, you're lucky. People don't think about your work and your efforts and all the investment you put into doing things. They think, oh, the guy that lucky, man, him so and so. No, people don't just sit down and get lucky with some big money falling from the sky into your lap. People work, right? It's not luck. It is preparation and opportunities. All right. Sometimes we get opportunities, but we're not prepared. We don't have the skills. We don't have the training. We don't have the necessary amenities to make success occur. And so that's sometimes why other people fail where you succeed. You were prepared, and the opportunity came. It's not luck. This thing about luck is totally discounting a person's effort they put into their own prosperity. All right, and we need to change that. There is, this is perhaps going to be the touchy one, and it's the idea that children are obligated to taking care of their parents. It may sound funny or bad, but it is not so. Okay, it is noble when a child takes care of their parents. It's a very noble thing for them to do that. But there's no obligation there. Parents should not guilt children into thinking that they did them a favor by them being here, by bringing them here. That is not true. All right, they did what they did, and they invested in their time there, and a child came as a result of it. This is why government will put prosecution on you if you don't take care of your children, because you are obligated to taking care of your children. It's not the other way around. Children are not obligated to taking care of their parents. Parents are in fact supposed to prepare themselves for their latter years when things are not well. But however, let me just make sure you're not misunderstanding me. It is very noble for children to take care of their parents. I believe in that. I do that. But do not let anyone guilt you into thinking they did you a favor by bringing you here, and therefore you are obligated to taking care of them. There's no law that says so. The only place I know there's a law that says so is China. Okay, and that's because of a certain different you know, sociocultural practices in China. All right. All right, so if you have your own little list of things, pet peeve that you'd like to see change about Jamaica, so, you know, put a line in the comments section, and let me know. But this has been mine. I'm sure there are a few more, but this is mine for now. All right. Thanks again for watching Wake Up and Live with Bob. And if you haven't yet done so, please like, share, subscribe, and tell someone about my video. Thanks again for watching.